promulgation of a new constitution in Kenya opened up doors through the Bill of Rights that the women and children of Kenya would be grateful for. In a country who had been scarred by a political regime with immense disregard for human rights and dignity, cases of gender-based violence were exceptionally precipitated within Kenyan slums and other informal settlements. Women Rights Awareness Program, RAP, a national, non-governmental, non-political, and non-profit human rights organization based in Nairobi that was founded in 1993, has been able to make a tremendous journey with Kenyan families affected by gender-based violence. Anne is a survivor of gender-based violence. Just like most women, her story begins like a love fairy tale with hopes of living happily ever after and raising a family with a man of her dreams.
Vile mimba yangu ilifikisha miezi 5, akaanza kubadilika. Akakuwa sasa ni kunitusi, kunichapa, kuniletea wasichana wengine kwa nyumba. Nikakaa tu nikivumilia. Nikakuja nikazaa. Mtoto wangu akiwa na mwezi mmoja akaanza kunichapa. Akakuwa ananichapa kila siku, akikuja tu hivi kwa nyumba, juu alikuwa anakunyonga pombe na anavuta bangi. Kwa kingia tu hivi kwa nyumba, kitu ya kwanza tu hata akuongeleshi, anaanza kukuchapa, kukutusi. Sasa ikakuwa tu mahali tu nasema tu acha nivumilie, atabadilika, atarudi venye alikuwa. Nikaona badiliki, juu alifika mahali akaanza kusema ataniua sasa.
She finally made a decision, and thankfully, RAP was in Dandora. Anne Ngugi, a legal officer and a passionate human rights dissident, began the journey.
Well, RAP's story started way back in 1989. And it started with an organization which was then known as the Public Law Institute, where I was an officer there, a legal officer there, and I had set up a desk, Women's Rights Awareness Program. We were 4 at the time, came up and decided we need to register this organization known as RAP, whereby we would be providing and addressing these needs that have been identified by these women. An alternative, safe and secure place to be, a place where they can actually seek refuge, get assistance, get services, and be able to make decisions concerning their lives.
Since its foundation, the journey for RAP has never been the same again. Right from the beginning, there was every indication that it was time the human rights scenario in Kenya got a facelift. The priority was to enable survivors of gender-based violence to access the primary gender-based programming sectors of healthcare, psychosocial support, security or protection, and legal justice. Thus, RAP initially focused on mitigating the effects of domestic violence.
In 2002, we started protecting children who've been violated sexually, physically, or neglected by the society. We have the social department, which is the first stop when a client comes to RAP. By client, I mean any survivor of GBV. They are received, their cases are taken, and they are referred to the relevant department. We have 3 departments: the counseling department, we have the shelter, and we have the legal.
RAP has been able to set up several departments and programs that run on a 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week basis.
What we do at RAP in the counseling department is that when the clients come, we have an intake form where we have their data. After that, we schedule for the appropriate session time with them. The first step in the counseling, we call it the early stage, where we allow the clients or the survivors of abuse to tell or narrate their story. We give them a safe and conducive environment where they can establish trust, and we offer them the much needed emotional support. After they've been able to tell us their story, we move to the middle stage, where we are involved with the exploration of feelings, how they feel towards the abuser, about themselves and their condition in general. Once we've gone with them through all this, we come towards the termination stage, whereby we detach or we remove the counselor from the picture, and we allow the client to come up with the solutions out of the possible options provided. The aim of counseling is to offer psychological support, which is facilitated by giving them a shoulder to lean on and work with them throughout their crisis. At TRAP, we also offer psychoeducation on various topics, and we establish or we form focus groups or the support groups such that if it is a child who is traumatized, they feel like they're not alone in it. There are others who share with them, and they're able to share the experiences in the shelter. And once we terminate, we have follow-up sessions. Even after the client has left the shelter, they can always come back whenever a need arises.
When you look at most of our clients that we admit or that we handle, they mainly are from aspects of gender-based violence. And on the angle of children, some of them come through child neglect. So we thought that it would be important to advocate for their rights. So in this case, there would be complainants if it's a criminal matter. Then in the angle of the children, basically through the promulgation of the Constitution and other international legislations to which Kenya is party to, children have their rights, which rights must be honored and respected both by the parents and by the state.
Clients in the shelter are involved in various empowering and therapeutic activities, including self-defense lessons and skills training on embroidery, crocheting, tailoring, etc. The shelter program also facilitates reconciliation of minors with their parents or guardians, reintegration of minors with their immediate families, and resettlement of minors into a more conducive environment. The social support program entails psychosocial and livelihood support, social work and community outreach, and awareness creation and building community capacity.
In Dadora, basically we are focused with the sexual gender-based violence that is manifested in form of gang rapes. Last year when we were in Dandora, we identified that there is a need to address the gang rapes in the neighborhood of Dadora, which were being manifested in an organized manner, and there was a wide outcry that young women and girls were subjected to harassment by the gangs, which were locally known as, which referred to the SGBV as Kuchotwa. So we partnered with EVOS and a program known as Sexual Reproductive Health Empowerment Program, abbreviated as SERA, and trying to address the problem through building the capacities of the communities to identify and address the issue.
Awareness creation on children's, women's, and human rights is undertaken as a gender-based violence prevention strategy that also has the aim of sensitizing the public in general on gender-based violence response as a strategy and to help surmount the challenge of non-reporting of incidences and to increase social acceptability of women reporting abuse.
Hatutaki kuchota watu, tunasema lazima ikome. Kuchota lazima kukome, au sio?
Economic empowerment, therefore, is a strategy that enables vulnerable women, women affected or at risk of gender-based violence, to stop or to avoid poverty-driven violence. It is in this regard that RAP, in partnership with various financial institutions, including Equity and Jamii Bora banks, mobilized women survivors into groups of co-guarantors for purposes of solidarity lending. The program entails capacity building and skills training to beneficiaries to enable them operate effectively in their small businesses. RAP, in partnership with HIVOS, a Dutch organization, rolled out a pilot project in Dandora, a low-income neighborhood. Dubbed harnessing the collective action of women for holistic, gender-based violence programming and social change in Kenya. A disturbing trend was observed from RAP's client data indicating that incidences of rape, especially of young girls and teenagers in Dandora, was in the rise. RAP's social workers in the field established that the experience of rape had become so rampant that youth gangs, commonly known by such names as Hapana Tambua, from Dandora, had dubbed the phenomenon kuchotwa, which implies picking up a girl.
Bako chini kwa nyumba ingine hapo hata kwa watu ukija mmoja akaingia kuingia akaenda hapo kitanda pale hapo kitanda na mashosuta ngana misto nisaka kunigonga akanitoa nguo mpaka kazima mpaka stima mpaka mwana akaifunga na hiyo kiti. Saa wengine wakaingia saa wote wanakasa kulala na mimi.
These alarming stories made it to the mainstream Kenyan media and attracted a lot of public distress. RAP, in partnership with Hivos, resolved to venture into Dandora. With the help of the local administration and the community as a whole, sought and established socio-economic and civic empowerment program aimed at social action groups for women and youths in the region.
Yani hapo zamani ulikuwa unapata sisi hatuko na ile fahamisho, tulikuwa tunajuanga ni kuchota. But kwa saa kubenye tulikuwa tunachota ulikuwa unapata ni manzi mmoja anachota na watu kama 5, 7 to 10. Lakini tulipokam sasa baadaye vile RAP waliweza kupenya huku Dandora, kuna venye tuliweza kujua ilikuwa ni mbaya, ilikuwa ni gang rape. Hapo ndo tulijulia ni gang rape. Sasa ikakuwa venye chief na DO wetu wameanza kuhamasisha watu katika zile masport pale mabezi zilikuwa, unapata sasa hapo ndio watu walianza kujua hii kitu ni nini, kwa sababu tunaenda mpaka na tunafanya kama baraza inafanywa mahali kama hapo, unapata hizo vitu wenyewe tulikuwa nafanya hivyo. Na hapo ndio wakajua wenyewe ni rape.
Gender-based violence imekuwa well understood in the community, na people are responding to it in a good way. For instance, when they hear any case related to GBV, they report it, and people are very keen to know how the proceedings are going. And to the society, people are coming up with things that they are doing, at least wanakuwa occupied.
I get very many cases in daily basis concerning gender violence. I would like to encourage RAP and tell them, please, there's a lot to be done in Dandora. Come, we as the government will allow you to come and train our people, be with our people, educate them on the gender violence issues. Come and support us. Like in Dandora, we don't have a rehab center. So I would like to encourage RAP and tell them that we as a government are supporting them, and we will be with them and we will work together.
Women-led community gender-based violence watch groups were then established, drawn from all faces in Dandora, and their capacity built through workshops as a strategy to end violence in Dandora. Other activities included community awareness through roadshows, talk shows, radio spots on Koch and Gato FM, and through dissemination of IEC materials, brochure, T-shirts, and flyers. RAP is thankful for the invaluable support and cooperation that was received from the local administration and the entire community, women and youths.
At RAP, we've had various success stories. For example, there are clients who come to RAP when they are very traumatized, but at the end of the counseling process, they are able to restructure their worldview and they are able to process their feelings, and they are able to foster healthy relationships in the society. Moreover, we've also had children who come to RAP when they are unable to express that which they've gone through. But once we've given them a conducive environment, the results that we've observed over a period of time indicate that they are able to express their feelings, they are able to process their feelings, and they are able to be in a good and stable emotional state.
We've had success stories. When it comes to the legal department, we've had cases that have been through, and children, the perpetrators, have been sentenced. We have success stories where children have been cancelled and have really, they've really done away with the trauma, and they've been able to be reintegrated back to the society and continued with their lives normally.
Nasema venye hao watu walikuja nikagundua ni akina nani, nilijua wanajitanga RAP. Walinisaidia sana juu walikuwa wananiambia hao wanadilingi na watu wamedhulumiwa, si mimi wa kwanza. Kwa hivyo nisiogope. Hao watu walinisaidia kabisa juu walinipea counseling. Nikaweza kujiinua kutoka mahali nilikuwa. Maisha yangu ikabadilika. Niseme RAP mali walicheza kwa ile part walicheza kwa life yangu ni kubwa sana. Yeah.
So at the moment, we've learned that we don't have so many cases as we used to receive before on our desk. The cases have gone down, and even the kids are able to speak on their own, and are able to educate others on the same.
With the community, you are able to reach at a grassroots level to get to the people and to approach them, to be able to participate and to address issues with you, to think alike with you, and to be able to make a difference with you. That is one of the biggest, for me, a biggest plus that RAP has been able to do, and we are working towards that. Again, of course, it's working with the government. The government is a key player in terms of addressing gender-based violence. In terms of they have the resources, they have the ability, they have the skills, they have the knowledge, and if all that was put in place, I'm quite convinced that the issue of gender-based violence would actually be seeing a remarkable decline. Another one, of course, is civil society and CBOs and organizations that are for profit. Working with them is a plus, because if we work together with a common objective, we are able to achieve much more, and we are able to see and actually see and assess our impact and how far we are getting, because we are working as a team. Then, of course, I would then go down and narrow really to the family level. This is individual families, working with them to be able to address, gender-based violence would be a very big plus for us as an institution. We'll be able to see it at a homestead level. We'll be able to see the changes. We'll be able to see the impact that we have. So for me, those are key players that we have. And of course, finally, I can talk about the donors, supporters, people who would want to support the kind of initiatives we are taking. We would like to see that increase in terms of numbers, because we have done a good job and would like to see it replicated all over the country, and working with others to also replicate who share the same ideas that we also share.
RAP has been one of Kenya's most resilient voices against rape, child abuse, gender oppression, and gender-based violence. Their journey hasn't been short of misunderstanding and emotional tolls, but to this end, they want to continue writing the story.
As a person, it has been very fulfilling. I have seen a dream come true, a dream whereby we as an organization have been able to have an impact. My message to all Kenyans, who include women, men, children, and the youth, is that gender-based violence can be eradicated. And it requires a common effort of all of us together with a view to addressing and eradicating the gender-based violence. It requires us to also it requires us to see it and recognize it as a problem, and a problem that has to come out of the closet, that has to be in the forefront, that has to be addressed by everybody, so that people can see it and that people will then address it, deal with it, and also come up with solutions that will actually not only strengthen the family unit, but will strengthen the community as a whole and the country as a whole. Because a country that is free of gender-based violence or any form of violence is a strong country which is moving in the right direction.